It's now time for the morning show on XL7-TV.
It's Wednesday, June 29th, 2022. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. I'm Bob Rectenwell along with Scooter.
Whoop, whoop.
You got to wait for me to say
sorry, do it again.
Scooter.
Whoop, whoop.
Callies.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I got to do it twice.
I understand
morning,
that
so
you...
I'm very proud of this moment.
Now that you're one ahead,
Yes.
I understand that you have to do things different with two different hosts. But
But come on, right?
get with it.
Well, I would have, but you've been gone so long, I'm kind of out of rhythm. I'm blaming it on you.
Never take responsibility for your own actions.
No.
No wonder
never.
the world's so screwed up.
Never.
It's the 29th of June already, Scooter.
I know.
This weekend is 4th of July weekend. It's going to be warm. Do we have any burn bans going on that you know?
Not that I know of. I know that it's really dry in this area. We're in a slight drought in some of the northern parts of Arkansas.
I
But
just wonder about all the fireworks shows, if they're going to happen. Right now, I haven't heard of any being canceled.
I don't know. Even but even with burn bans before,
They've
allow
canceled them.
They have canceled before when it got real bad, but it's got to get, because usually they'll be prepared for that. So they're
Because
watching.
right now, at this point, we've had 0.3 inches of rain for the month of June.
0.3. And then we were hitting record highs earlier. And
And the record high,
Springtime.
the highs are coming back this weekend. So
oh no.
let's go to the Lord in a word of prayer. Brought to you by Roller Funeral Home of Arkansas, 29 to serve you, one in Memphis, Tennessee. With all our respect is not just their motto, it's how they do business. Ramada Jenkins Byler and her staff all across the state of Arkansas strive to provide you with excellence in your time of need. So let's go to a word of prayer. Lord, we just thank you for the day that you've given us and the sunshine and the good weather, the nice cool breeze yesterday. A lot of times people just come to you with their needs, and this morning I just want to come to you with thanks. Lord, our family suffered a loss of a loved one yesterday afternoon, but we're not here crying to you. We're rejoicing the fact that she'll suffer no more from a stroke that she'd had a year ago. Be with Tina's Aunt Joy as she's dealing with that, and her only son that lives up in Missouri that will have to deal with the passing of his mother. Lord, again, we just thank you for the life that she had and the fulfillment that she carried on for you. And Lord, we just thank you for all things that you've given us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roller Funeral Home of Arkansas, with all our respect, is how they do business. And if you need them, it's time to think about pre-planning, and as we get older, Scooter, it's probably a good thing to get handled for our loved ones so you don't get caught short, and have it all scheduled out and prepared for the people that are left behind. If you don't know where Roller Funeral Home is in Mountain Home, go up Highway 5 North, past the hospital drive. Start looking to your right. When you see the big American flag, pull in the driveway because you're there. Roller Funeral Home, with all our respect. Now we're going to have a quick word from the Z team, Bob and Linda Zadora. Be back in just a moment.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
How fitting is that commercial?
I know. I know, it's great.
And nowadays, in the real estate world, it's a little bit different because a lot of them take the time and they help you deal with everything that comes up because there's so many different things. Back in the early 80s, when I had a real estate license here, you have to understand there was 1,500 houses on the market and 150 realtors plus trying to sell them all.
Being pulled a bunch of different directions.
Well, but the market wasn't near the speed that it is today.
Yeah.
I would venture to say average day on market back then was 3, 4, 5 months. And now it's 3, 4, 5 weeks, maybe 3 or 4, 5 days. From listing to closing is 85 days or less. That's pretty quick. Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team, Century 21 Realtors, team that you would recommend to a friend. They provide us with a shot of the White River every morning from Marion County back into Baxter County. And that shot angles awesome. What is that flying across there, birds?
That was birds. Birds coming across. That's a beautiful shot this morning.
What you're looking at, folks, right there is a picture of God's country, but that's not a picture. It's a live shot. To your left is the Rainbow Bridge. To your right, down close to the river, the building there is Contractors Trust. Straight ahead is the city of Cotter. Cotter, Arkansas is in Baxter County. This camera is set in Marion County. It is brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team of Century 21 Realty here in Mountain Home, located across from the McDonald's. 870-405-0793 is their phone number. Their motto is realtors you can recommend to a friend, and I always say they're always busy, but never too busy to meet a new customer, a new client, new friend. So
look at that water moving
right along, and it's going to be that way for quite a while. From what they say, they're going to be generating 8, probably at least through the end of August. So we'll see how that goes. Take a look at the weather. Temperatures around the area: Mountain Home is 59, Harrison's 54, Batesville's 55, Yellville 54, Marshall 52. Salem is 53, Mountain View 52, Calico Rock 59, West Plains, Missouri is 53, Springfield, Missouri is 60, Poplar Bluff, Missouri is 54, and St. Louis is 56. And I just refreshed that. By cracky. Give that a minute just to catch up here. Get her in motions, pan it out to take a look at the whole US of A. Looks pretty clear all across the country. Up Detroit, Michigan's getting a little bit of rain. Up into Canada, there's some. Down in the Gulf Coast, New Orleans, Houston, Biloxi, they're getting some rain down there. It doesn't look terribly heavy. Nothing looks like it's forming into anything tropical. But I'm not a weatherman, so when I click this next page, it'll probably say tropical storms everywhere down there. Let's zoom in a little bit closer to Mountain Home. We'll look at just Arkansas, make sure there's nothing tiny popped up here. Looks pretty clear all the way down to the end of the state from east to west. It's just a clear day. Tropical outlook for the next 5 days: strengthening Gulf low impacts Texas. So yep, I was right. There's a little bit of something happening in the Gulf of Mexico. Looks like it might hit around Galveston, Corpus Christi, Brownsville. Lake Charles, Louisiana may get some heavy rain out of this. New Orleans, Mobile, but it's coming away from Panama City. I don't think that's going to generate anything for us to worry about, but if you're planning a Gulf Coast trip, you might want to check out the weather to be sure that everything's still good. Watches and warnings, alerts. I'm going to guess that it's a red flag warning. Dry conditions down in Texas, Oklahoma. Nothing in the state of Arkansas. A little bit of something in Tennessee, southwest Indiana, southeast Illinois, and then Nebraska. Looks like there's a little bit of some happenings there. Northwest corner of Kansas. Nothing in our area. 7-day forecast looks like this. Today, sunny, high of 88. Tonight, clear, low of 59. Thursday, here comes them 90s, Scooter. Thursday, 91. Thursday night, 69. Friday, high of 62. High of 92. Low of 70. Saturday, high of 89. Chance of thunderstorms about 40%. 30% chance of thunderstorms Saturday night. And on Sunday, chance of storms is 50% and high of 90. First part of next week, 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly sunny, high near 92. Low Monday night around 72. High on Tuesday is supposed to be 95. So the 4th of July day looks pretty good. Might be a little bit wet Saturday and Sunday, which might not be bad for lighting off fireworks. The pollen count. Tree pollen is low. Tomorrow is none. Friday is none. Grass pollen is high today, high tomorrow, and high on Friday. Everybody's got there cutting their grass.
Mm-hmm.
Ragweed. Moderate today, none tomorrow, none on Friday. Lake levels. Lake Norfolk, 568.39, which is 16.39 above full pool. They are generating 1 at this time. Started that generation around midnight. And I look for them to continue to generate at least 1 throughout. Lake Bull Shoals, 682.59, which is 23.59 above full pool of 659, and they are generating 8 this morning. If you want to check that to make sure we're current on our generation report, give them a call at 431-5311. There is a recording. They update it as they change the generation. And that's a look at the weather and all the updates, lake levels for your fishing report. Brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora of the Z-Team, 870-405-0793. RetireToArkansas.net is their website. Go check it out. You'll have a plethora of information there.
Plethora.
To help you out.
That's the word of the day.
That's this morning's word. Brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, 870-405-0793. Realtors you would recommend to a friend. You're watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's a matter of taste, and at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home, delicious taste is all you will find. Enjoy signature crafted pizzas and appetizers, as well as oven-baked sandwiches, quesadillas, salads, pastas, and desserts. When it comes time to relax or meet up with friends, Brick Oven Pizza has you covered. Handmade cocktails and ice-cold beer are always available at their fully stocked bar. No time to dine in? No problem. Call in your order and use Brick Oven's convenient drive-thru window for all your to-go orders. It's a matter of taste at Brick Oven Pizza Company in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to The Morning Show on XL7-TV. At this time, we generally like to talk about community events, but there's not really a whole lot going on.
There's not. I've looked around. There's just not a lot. I mean, there's stuff, regular stuff that's going on with the youth center and the library and stuff like that, but there's no big events going on right now.
You know, we've got the 4th of July fireworks show on the lake. I think it's going to be on the 3rd. There's one in Bull Shoals that I think is going to be also on the 3rd.
So Norfolk and Bull Shoals doing it the same night?
I think, yeah. I haven't been able to find.
Usually they break that up, but
yeah, usually one's on the 2nd, one's on the 3rd.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there are any actually going to be on the 4th at all, but you know, things are a little bit slow around here this time of the year.
They are.
COVID numbers have creeped back up a little bit into the spotlight. Not a whole lot, I don't think, to talk about there, but you know, just be smart. If you're going to be out with family gatherings for the 4th of July, and you suspect that somebody doesn't look really 100%, just stay away from them. You don't have to cancel.
It's the easiest way to do it.
You don't have to cancel your event. I'm not saying you got to walk around with a mask on. Just limit the hugs, and if you're shaking hands with everybody, make sure you wash them. I mean, it's pretty simple. Take care of yourself, and it'll take care of the disease, and it's probably not a bad thing to do. Local author Joe Smith is going to be speaking to the Baxter County Historical Society. Well, that was yesterday. By golly, I missed that one. He spoke at the Historical Society yesterday at 6 o'clock last night. Anyway, Joe has a book that he has written called Blessed Are the Peacemakers. It's a story set on the Civil War period, and ringtail tutors and other yeller bad yuns humor, whatever that means. But his new book is Bullets and Blades, Weapons of the Ozark History. If you're into local history, you might want to check those 2 little books out. Joe Smith is the author. He's from Gamelia, Arkansas. And other than that, I'm not sure that there's just a whole lot to speak about this morning. The Arkansas Junior Amateur Championship golf tournament is being held at Big Creek. The first round was won by a young lady from Little Rock. They'll play the second round today. There is a Chuck Morton Memorial Junior Golf Championship is set for July, which will also be held at Big Creek. It'll be held on July 7th and the 8th. Entries are still open at this time. There are 4 groups that boys and girls can compete in. It's 12 and 13, 14 and 15, 16 to 18 are the age groups. They will play 18 holes each day. The age group of 10 and 11-year-olds will only play 9 holes. And again, that tournament is being held at Big Creek Golf and Country Club on the 7th and the 8th of July. And please go check that out, and that will be exciting. If you have a youngster that might be interested in playing, you can email james.stanofsky, STANOFSKI, at bigcreekgolf.com, or give the country club a call at 425-8815. And you can download a entry form at bigcreek.com. And that's kind of the updates we've got. We'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks for watching the morning show on XL7-TV. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detail services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
When you're out of town, make sure your pet is with someone who will love them as much as you do. At 201 Pet Salon and Resort, your pet is cared for just as they would be at home. 201 Pet Salon and Resort is the only all-suite climate-controlled and air-filtered boarding facility in the area with private and spacious rooms to keep your pet relaxed. And with over 3/4 of an acre of fenced play area, your pet will receive the proper exercise they deserve. 201 also offers professional grooming services. Your best friend is in good hands at 201 Pet Salon and Resort in Mountain Home.
Looking for the best barbecue in 2 states?
Holy smokes!
Want the meatiest fall-off-the-bone ribs?
Holy smokes!
The most tender and delicious pulled pork?
Holy smokes!
The tastiest brisket in the Ozarks?
Holy smokes!
Holy Smokes Barbecue and Catering is the only place you need to go. Dine in, carry out, and the best food for your next catered event.
Holy smokes!
We're your mountain home for great barbecue cooking.
Holy smokes!
A higher calling for your taste buds.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment. Their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. This morning my guest is Police Chief Eddie Griffin for the City of Mountain Home. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Doing really good today.
Yeah? Are you ready for the 4th of July weekend?
We are. You know, last weekend was probably our bigger weekend just with the Red, White, and Blue Festival and stuff, but we're ready for the 4th.
How'd that go?
It went really well. We had a lot of extra activities. You know, there was the parade. We had a 5K, of course, the fireworks. So it was very hot. I was down there Saturday night. It was extremely hot, but it went well.
How does the city deal with that for manpower? You know, you've got a parade, you've got a 5K, you've got a rodeo going on, everything that's happened at ASU Mountain Home. How do you deal with having people still doing the patrol duties they need to do, but take care of all the extra stuff?
Well, just a lot of overtime, and you know, like you said, the main focus is always patrol. We're going to have people out working, but we get people from the other divisions, SROs, off-duty patrol, CID, to come in and help with the other activities going on, because we've got to, you know, it's just a service we've got to provide.
And when it comes to the overtime, is that just the city just eats that, or is there donations made back by the groups that are having the functions? How does that work?
No, it's figured into our budget. You know, whenever we put the budget together, we got a pretty good idea of the recurring expenses we have every year, and just, you know, plan for that.
Yeah, because it's nothing new. I mean,
no,
Red, White, and Blue's been going on a long time, and
that's correct.
There'll be 5Ks pop up that you got to block some roads. And
that's correct. And you know, we have the music at Hickory Park that we provide security for every event that we have there. So you know, it's just figured into our schedule.
I know the Sheriff's Department has a reserve group. They haven't had a reserve class in a while. Does the city have something similar to that?
We do have reserves. We have probably 5 right now. And typically we don't run as many reserves as what the Sheriff's Department has had in previous years. I think their numbers are probably down a bit in speaking with the sheriff, but we've typically always had 3 or 4 reserves, and that are pretty active, and it helps us a lot.
Now, are the reserves, are they certified officers or a mixture of both?
To be a reserve, you have to go through a 120-hour course. But we're really fortunate. All of our reserves, with the exception of 1, have been full-time officers. So, you know, they can fill in a position just like anybody, and you know, you don't have to worry that maybe they don't have the experience for things that might come their way. They're very capable.
The patrolling of the city, generally, the city has how many officers on at a time?
Well, if we have a full staff, we would have 4 per shift. But right now, you know, at times we may have as few as 2, and it's never less than 2. But and I say that right now we have several officers in the field training program, so there may be 2 in one unit, but effectively that's just, you know, one unit. We try to always have at least 2 units on the street.
How long have you been the chief?
Since June of last year, and Chief Manuel, he retired, I believe it was on the November 20th of 20. So as assistant chief, there was, you know, 4, 5, 6 months that I was in charge as assistant chief before I became chief.
Wore 2 hats.
Yeah, but it wasn't a big deal.
Mountain Home went a number of years with not having an assistant chief.
We did. You know, a lot of it was probably due to budgeting in those days. You know, our numbers as far as tax dollars were not what they are now, and Chief Manuel, he probably took on a lot more than what he should have. And you know, he would put stuff out to the lieutenants to take up the slack, but we definitely have room for an assistant chief. I mean, there's plenty of stuff going on. You know, we're a ALEAP accredited agency, and there's just a lot of paperwork that goes along with that. In 2023, we'll go through our reaccreditation. So right now, Assistant Chief Jones and myself are doing a lot of work pertaining to that. That's very time consuming.
The makeup of the city police department, if you don't care, let's run through that a little bit. Let's talk about the SROs, which is a very important part of our school system.
Right.
Let folks know that may not already know what is an SRO and what is their function?
Okay. The school resource officers, the first one we had was Assistant Chief Jones back when he initially hired on in the late 90s. And, at that time it was really kind of a new thing, and oftentimes it wasn't that popular. But with some of the tragedies that's happened through the schools, around the country, people have seen the need for that. Well, over the years, we started adding additional officers, and now we have an officer in every school in Mountain Home, with the exception of on South College, the Pinkston and the kindergarten are covered by one officer, since they're basically right there together.
Same conference,
same campus, but separate buildings. But they just provide a huge resource for us, and not necessarily what people would always think. Obviously, their main thing is just the protection of the children. But especially at the high school level or junior high level, there's a lot of cases that our investigators would have to work if it wasn't for the school resource officers, or even patrol. If there's an accident in high school parking lot, the resource officers work that instead of taking somebody off of the street to go down. So they work a lot of cases. They just help out immensely all over. And then in the summer, what's really key is they do a lot of training for us. Sergeant Holland, currently this week, she's doing her CPR and stop the bleed for all officers. A couple weeks ago, they put on the active shooter training, and Mountain Home has had active shooter training since, for approximately 20 years, since early 2000s. And, I know some of the recent events, there's been some questions about the way that it was handled. Well, you have to train to know how to handle things in different events, and that training has really adapted over the years. And now we train direct threat. So if there's only one officer the first officer that gets to an event, he goes to the threat and does everything he can to neutralize it.
So how many school resource officers do we have? If you can, share their names and what school they're in.
Okay. Now you're putting me to the test. So we have.
You didn't think this was going to be
easy?
No,
I thought it would be something a little I can just throw off the top of my head. But so at the high school we have Ryan Thompson. Junior high is Sergeant Lacey Holland. We have Daniel Campfield at Hackler. Eddie Helmer at the alternative school. Zach Abels Zach Abels is at Hackler. I told you wrong. Daniel Campfield is at Pinkston, and Nick Mays is at the elementary school. So of those, Eddie Helmer's the lieutenant, Lacey Holland is the sergeant, and Zach Abels is the corporal, and others are officers.
And we have a drug dog?
We do. Daniel Campfield has a drug dog that stays with her, but she's not. The dog is not only for the schools. She can help out in patrol or other agencies that needs a search or whatever.
That is, the kids enjoy that. I know
they do. They do. That dog is it's probably also, it's not one of its titles or missions, but it's probably you could look at it as a therapy dog for some of the kids.
It was exciting to see that this go around, instead of getting a Malinois or a Belgian Shepherd, that they've got a lab, because the lab is way less intimidating for a student, especially a young student.
Absolutely. And my thought to I don't want to say no matter what any dog we get in the future would be a dog of that type. But I do feel in Mountain Home, what's considered a dual-purpose dog, a dog that has the ability to, a bite dog. I don't see a need for that, like maybe in some of the bigger cities. I think a drug dog, but also a dog that a child can approach, or a pet without any kind of issues is probably a bigger benefit to this area.
And you've got a lab that is, they're laid back. Of course, they're intense and they're very good at their job, but they're laid back, and a child that may have been in a fight or may have been in an accident, feels more comfortable going up to a dog that's got its tail end shaking just unbelievably and ready to lick you.
That's absolutely
compared
true.
to a shepherd, because they just have that persona that, hey, I'm going to bite you.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I agree.
my job is to make sure you don't move, so therefore my teeth are showing.
Exactly. I 100% agree.
Pretty exciting to have that.
It is.
We're with Eddie Griffin, the Mountain Home Chief of Police. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the morning show on XL7-TV.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
Overhead Door, a garage door company that has been with your family from the beginning, through all the ups and downs of life. From the small repairs to making your vision a reality. Overhead Door, your trusted garage door expert since 1921. Be sure you're getting the genuine, the original overhead door service.
Call Overhead Door Company of North Arkansas today in Mountain Home.
At Serendipity Bliss, we love turning your day into a once-in-a-lifetime memory by offering unique, beautiful, and specialized event and wedding rentals that can transform any atmosphere into something you will never forget. Whether it's your dream wedding, a golden anniversary, sweet 16 party, or a company event, we can make any event blissfully perfect. Serendipity Bliss carries unique specialty gifts and bridal jewelry and helps coordinate decor, table items, theme-related pieces, and more. Make your day blissfully perfect with Serendipity Bliss, located behind Car Care Mountain Home.
Scrap Daddy's Metals is a full-service scrap recycling center accepting your scrap metals for recycling, paying you top dollar for all of your recyclable metals. They even buy cars and catalytic converters. Give them a call today at 870-424-6120 or visit them at 2821 Highway 5 North in Mountain Home.
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Police Chief Eddie Griffin is with us. He's the police chief for the city of Mountain Home. How long have you been an officer?
25, a little over 25 years.
All right here?
Yes, all in Mountain Home.
Are you born and raised in Mountain Home?
I was born in Mountain Home in 1965. Went to all 12 years of school here.
Graduated when?
In 1983 with your brother.
Okay.
And graduated in 83, went into the military, got out of the military, come back to Mountain Home, been here ever since. Both of my sons graduated from here. And
where's your wife from?
Well, she went to all of her schooling in Mountain Home, but she was born in California. She's worked out the electric company for 35 years, I believe.
Oh my.
A while.
So she's a Mountain Home girl too?
Yeah, I think, yeah, she is, and I think she's fully vested out there. So, after 35 years, so
don't reckon she'll be going anywhere anytime soon?
No, well, I hope not. She may have different plans than me, but I just soon keep her out there and working.
There you go. You've got two boys?
I do. I've got a son that is a psychologist, works for the VA and UAMS in Little Rock, and then one that's in Dallas, Fort Worth area, sells real estate.
Commercial real estate guy.
Yes, he's very busy right now. Things are good down there.
I bet. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the composition of the police department as a whole. You moved off from what used to be right in very highly exposed area, which is now the 911 center and the dispatch area, down in the basement. What's upstairs of that?
Well, now they have a representative of the VA there, and then the administrator from the 911 up there.
So you moved from there to the library?
Correct.
And what is that house there? Everything for the police department?
Pretty much. Now the SROs, they don't have a area of the department. They work from out there. Our dispatch is in the 911 center currently. Inside the building is all the administrative staff. So there's the secretaries, the office manager, operations manager, patrol. There's a patrol area, CID, and I believe that's it.
So your staff in-house keeps things rolling for you. How many officers do you have in your CID department?
There's 4 in there. There's a Mike Day is the lieutenant, Zach Bird's the sergeant, Michael Warnell's the corporal, and then Larry Bird's our newest investigator. And they stay pretty busy.
Who's the last one?
Larry Bird. Did I say Larry Bird? You're making me nervous. This is all the TV stuff, you know. Yeah, I wish we had Larry Bird in there, but Larry Crusoe.
You'd never get anything done.
No, we'd be signing off. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I wouldn't. At my height, I'm probably not highly sought after, but yeah, it would be cool.
Larry Crusoe's the latest
Yes,
add to
yes.
that bunch. You lost Jay Volkman.
We did, but he's coming back.
Really?
He retired, and the way the retirement system is, you have to stay out 90 days, and he's going to come back as a part-time employee, and he'll help out just with some of the walk-ins. He'll probably work a case or two that maybe to free up the other guys for some other cases. So I'm very excited about him coming back.
So you as the chief, you've got Bubba Jones as the assistant chief.
Correct.
And how does it chain of command go from there?
Well, there's each division, the SRO, CID, and patrol all have a lieutenant. So it's Eddie Helmert, Mike Day, and Brian Corbett. So effectively, kind of the way we try to do things, all the day-to-day operations, Assistant Chief Jones will it will go out from him, and I try to handle more of the administrative stuff between us and City Hall, that type of thing.
And then you've got patrol sergeants. You run 2 shifts
We
per
run
day,
we
2 12-hour
run
shifts.
12-hour shifts in patrol, so there's 4 patrol shifts. They have a sergeant, corporal, and then the officers on them. The 4 patrol sergeants are Robert McCoy runs a day shift. Your son, Robert Rechtenwald, runs the day shift. You're making me nervous. Rodney Wiggins runs the night shift, and Daniel Shaw runs the night shift. So,
Okay.
and they're 12-hour shifts.
Then you've got corporals that fall with them, and then 2 just patrolmen.
That's correct.
On a standard shift, do you require the officers to drive so many miles per night? Do they have the leeway to sit and patrol, sit and run traffic? How does that work? Running from the county, which is 600 and something square miles, to the city, which is 25, less than 30 for sure, it has to be different. And a lot of the officers that you have been county, so things are different for them. Do you try to get them in the subdivisions daily, nightly? How does that work for the patrol officer?
We do, and I can track that. All the vehicles have GPSs, and we can set up zones to where they need to go hit, and I can keep record of how often they get into different areas. But they have the freedom to do what they want when they're not on a call. But day shift, typically they're kind of going from call to call, so the call volume dictates what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
However, if they're not on call, they can run radar, just work different types of traffic, do different things. But the call volume typically dictates what they do. Now, right now, we have 3 officers that are in FTO. We're getting ready to hire 3 more and send them to the academy. So we've had a lot of transition, so we have a lot of new officers. Well, and so that greatly dictates what's going on now. Hope when we're at full staff, it frees up officers do a lot more proactive policing rather than being reactive, and that's what we want and different officers enjoy different things, and that it kind of makes everything work well. Some officers prefer taking calls, so that officer may take more calls, and then you may have a officer that likes working traffic. So it just pans out and works out pretty well.
The continuing education for a police officer, how in depth is that?
Well, our governing body is classed, and they mandate that we do, I believe it's 24 hours annually, but at the police department we do a lot more than that. We pretty much some video training that we have to do, and our qualification shoots would more than cover that. But you know, like I mentioned earlier, the active shooter, we're getting ready to have a defensive tactics training day that will be 8 hours, and you know, we probably hit closer to 50 hours annually of different trainings, and that's just the local mandatory training. That's not, you know, any officers that we send week-long schools. So individually, you know, they'll get different trainings. We're getting ready to send a detective to a crime scene technician school that will be 1 week per month for 6 months. So and you know, there's quite a bit of training that individual training that different officers get.
You mentioned you've got 3 officers in FTO right now, and then you're sending 3 to the academy. Are those total of 6? Is that going to be addition to your staff, or is that filling a lot of gaps?
That's filling in through. You know, we've had several retires. We've had a few move on to different. You know, got out of police work. We've got one that's going to be county judge. So just different things. We've had to hire new people. So in patrol, we have 19 patrol officers at full staff, and that's not including the lieutenant. Well, we have, of those 19, 14 of them have less than 4 years with us, and of those 14, I think it's 8 or 9 we will have sent to the academy within that time frame. So we're really new. You know, when I started in the 90s, there was we had a lot of turnover. Just a lot of people retired at that time, and there was some government grants out there, so several officers were put on. Well, all those guys that are about my age are moving on, and so you've got a bunch of new officers coming on, and it's kind of exciting. I mean, they're excited and ready to go to work, so that's kind of fun.
When the federal government comes up with these click it or ticket programs, or the DWI checkpoints and that kind of stuff, is there funding that comes back from either the state or the feds that help pay for that extra time and extra officers you have?
There is. So the seat belt, speed enforcement, DWI enforcements are 3 primary in patrol, and they have a matching funds program, which the matching funds, there's different ways it can be done. It doesn't necessarily have to be where the city puts up the exact dollar amount. It can just be officer on duty, you know, spends, say, an hour working seat belts or whatever. But it's a very good program. I think this year it was between $80,000 and $90,000 that our department got to pay the officers overtime for that, and so they can get a lot of overtime out doing that specialized enforcement. It benefits the community and hopefully keeps intoxicated people off the street, and it's very valuable.
A little over a year ago, or right at a year ago, the city of Mountain Home had a scary thing happen at the Casey store here in town. And I know you don't want to talk a whole lot about that, but you know, a lot of people come here and they're of the mindset, well, there's no crime in Mountain Home. Things just don't happen there. There's no murders, there's no this, there's no that. Get real, because this is still the US of A. It's still there's crazy people everywhere, and we had officers had to deal with that. When you go through something like that, what's there to help the officer after the fact?
Well, just to be totally honest, in past years we did not have things in place like we should. You know, we can, if an event like that takes place, we mandate that the officer will go talk to somebody and get released. You know, where a professional is saying they're fit for duty, but that's wasn't in our policy. Well, we're part of the Arkansas Chiefs of Police Association, and we use their model policy. And just this year, there's something coming out that basically a guideline that mandates things to get officers help. But we've got a long ways to go. I'm not going to sit here and pull your leg. There's some events that the officers see and deal with that one officer may deal with it and have no problem, and the other officer may have problems, and we we got to get the young guys to realize there's no shame in saying, hey, I need to talk to somebody, I need a little help, because I mean, we got to keep them healthy. And you know, your mental health is no different than dealing with heart disease, diabetes, whatever. If you don't stay on top of it, there's going to be a tipping point, and that's when bad things happen. And we definitely have to get better in taking care of our officers' mental health.
With that, we'll take a break. 7:45, you're watching the morning show on XL7-TV. Police Chief Eddie Griffin is with us this morning. We'll be back in just a moment.
At Letty's Mexican Restaurant, we are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we've installed a convenient pickup window for all your to-go and pickup orders, as well as a covered outdoor seating area. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal. And don't forget, Letty's also provides catering for small parties or big events. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville. Close to Lake Norfolk and a short journey to Jordan County Line Liquor is your destination for all your refreshment needs. They offer the widest variety of all your wines, beers, and liquors with the cleanest atmosphere and the largest selection in the area. Not sure what to get? Ask Jordan County Line Liquor's friendly and knowledgeable staff for an expert recommendation you can't go wrong with. Also, don't forget about the Smoker's Den for all your smoking and accessory needs. That's Jordan County Line Liquor, close to Lake Norfolk, located on Highway 177 in Jordan, Arkansas.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
But how will we?
The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
It's a matter of
Welcome back to the morning show on XL7-TV. Police Chief Eddie Griffin is with us. He's the police chief of the city of Mountain Home. Last week, the Twin Lakes Retired Police Scholarship Fund, the organization gave some scholarships to some people, and we have a little video presentation of that, and I'd like for you to sit here with us, and we'll talk about it when we're done.
Very good.
Take a watch.
Welcome back. It would help if I turned my mic on.
There you go.
There you go. Welcome back. You're watching the morning show here on XL7-TV, and we've got a really special segment for you today. We do a lot with announcing different fundraisers and different events that are going on in the community, and a lot of times that we never get to see the end result and kind of get the whole story. And we're really special today to have that opportunity. And I know we've pushed this quite a few times in the morning. It's the Twin Lakes Retired Police Scholarship Fund.
Yes, sir.
And you guys did a number of fundraisers to try to raise money for scholarships and different things. And now that it's all over, it's kind of nice to bring you in and kind of find out what all went on, how it went, all the good and bad from everything.
Sure.
And I know last couple of years with COVID and stuff for a lot of these fundraisers, a lot of these things, it's been really, really tough.
Yes, it has.
And to see you guys stick with it and bounce back from it and still be able to supply this and offer this to the kids is an amazing thing. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys. There's a whole gaggle full of people here. Gaggle's a good word when you look around here. But I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself and kind of explain a little bit about what you guys do and stuff like that.
Well, today we're blessed to be able to, why is that going so bad? We're able to, there we go. Today we're blessed to be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We have the winners of the recipients of our scholarships that we give away every year. The Twin Lakes Retired Scholarship Foundation has been in existence for over 20 years. We've raised over and given out over $105,000 in scholarships and helped a lot of people. The concept was to have one of the members, a retired policeman who was here, and they used to just kind of get together, have a few beers, tell lies, hard to believe. And he was checking out of the Walmart up here and saw a local officer having to pay for his food with food stamps. And he says, there's got to be something we could do. So the group then, the founding group, came up with the idea of being able to give secondary education to allow these children, young adults, to be able to advance in the world and be able to help themselves. And we're here to celebrate that today. I'm Bob Zador. You may have caught me occasionally on here with This Week in Real Estate. Frank Vacco, who's our president, Bruce Powell, who's a member, and we're here to kind of talk about the benefits and the ways we've helped people.
Bob's also our spokesman, if you can't tell.
I've done this a time or two.
Yeah.
And I think that having these the winners here with us today and being able to give these awards out and be able to pass the station, we thank the station for the opportunity here to be able to record this, and for the winners to be able to send it on to Grandma or Aunt Ethel in Dubuque or wherever it may be. It's a good thing for us, and it kind of puts us a step ahead of some of the other.
Something else you should mention is that we are a 501c3.
Oh yes.
So we are nonprofit. We're here just for the kids, trying to help them out and stuff. We're always looking for new members too.
Yes.
There's plenty of retired officers around here, and we'd love to have you over here. And we meet every third Friday over at the arena at noon. So if anybody's ever interested, come on down.
Yes, indeed, and that's really what we need. I mean, we need money.
Mm-hmm.
That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We need to be able to raise more money to help more kids or be able to help them in a bigger way. The checks we're going to give out today are going to help defer some of the costs of that education. But you, and those of you who have donated and bought the raffle tickets, I think I can say raffles, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Raffle tickets for the 2-day boat cruise from Ricky over at Bull Shoals Marina. We have a silver coin that Bruce actually donated. Looks like you're an Olympic winner. And the auto or boat detail from A1.
A Plus Auto.
A Plus Auto.
Mm-hmm.
And we thank our sponsors, and we thank
just thank everyone.
Yeah, I mean everybody who to donate. And of that over $105,000, every dime of that, there's no money in this for anybody. We've had things donated, tickets. I paid for the tickets and the banner. I mean, guys do what they got to do to help out, because it is such a good cause, and we thank you for helping us with that.
We also thank our families too, because they also help spouses.
Yes, indeed. Yes, they do.
Yeah,
nothing happens without my honey.
Exactly.
And I know you guys took the time to do these fundraisers and raise these money for these kids. And I know the first one that you guys had, which was at Harps, weather was bad.
Yes.
Things were just tough. So to see things pull around and be able to pull out of this and offer this to the kids, and I know that is your guys' big drive, is to be able to support these kids and be able to help them to make that next step. And I work with the school all the time,
exactly.
And I know every scholarship goes so far when you're talking about a second education for these kids. And I support this 110%, and I'm just grateful that you guys take the time and donate your time to do this for them.
And we still have some tickets left.
Yeah,
if you want tickets, you can go to Frank's office, which is
365 Highway 5 North over at Vacco Insurance. My wife also has some.
There you go. There you go. Or call me.
We'll find you some.
Yeah, we'll find you some. We got some left. So we'll take a break and we'll get set up and we'll get our presentations and celebrate the day.
Be right back.
All right, we're going to announce our recipients now. Our first one is Madeline Hobson. She's going to Lyons College in Batesville, where she's going to play volleyball and track. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it. Our second recipient is Sarah Vacco. She'll be attending North Ark College in Harrison, where she will play soccer. I know you. Thanks, Mom. Our next recipient is Abby Taylor. She's going to be going to ASU in Jonesboro. Congratulations. Thanks, Stuart. And our last recipient is Gracie Howland, who's going to the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. Thank you. And that's our list.
Welcome back live to the morning show on XL7-TV. I want to thank the Twin Lakes Retired Police Association for doing those scholarships annually for the area students around. You know, it's exciting, you know, and there's scholarships out there for active policemen that want to continue their education too, and there's somebody at the school that can specialize in that. I haven't cleared announcing his name, but I know that that's available here at ASU Mountain Home. Do you have very many officers that look to continue their education, even though they've got a job, they're full-time, that want to go on and get a degree or finish up one?
We do. You know, to hold certain rank, you have to have at least your English, the 2 English classes. But something that the city did just last year was there's an incentive pay for different law enforcement certificates. And to get, for example, the senior certificate, basically, if you have a bachelor's, you could get it within 9 years. If you have an associate's, within 12 years. But without those, you'd probably be near the end of your career, and it's an extra $1.50 per hour. So, you know, over the course of a career, it can add up. And also, you know, with some of the lesser certificates, there's a pay incentive. So there's definitely a reason, you know, because the better educated the officer is across the board, the better he'll perform. But there is definitely some incentives, and we have quite a few that take advantage of it.
A couple of years ago, there was a new addition to the city tax that was added. How's that helped your department?
Oh, it's been a total game changer. It's made all the difference in the world. You know, we have a very strong fleet. We have our officers, I think it's 5 of them that are paid from the public safety tax. It's just you know, it frees up. We can send officers the public safety officers to training and pay them out of that, but beyond that, it frees up money that comes from the general fund, where we can have other officers that are paid out of the general fund go to training. So it, you know, in my view, training for police officers is one of the most critical areas there is, and it's probably one of the most underfunded areas, you know, because so many agencies just do the bare minimum, and I mean, you've got to train.
From the time you interview and say, yeah, we want this man or lady to be on our police force, to the time from that point to the time they get through the academy and through FTO, how much time span is there?
6 months. It's pretty much 6 months. The academy is 13 weeks, and then the FTO program is 12.
So it makes it, even though you've got somebody new hired and on the books, before you can effectively see them on the job, you're looking at 6 months.
Before they're in a car by themselves, making decisions on their own, it's 6 months.
And then it's still a little bit probationary after that?
It is. I feel, just my own opinion, an officer probably is about 3 years in before he's really equipped. You know, he's seen enough different calls to where you're comfortable.
Be standalone.
Right. It's because there's just such a wide variety of things that are exposed to.
Well, Chief Griffin, we appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning, especially on short notice.
And thanks for having me, and I'll try to get Larry Bird to come down and sign some autographs next time.
That'd be awesome. Thanks for joining us this morning. You've been watching The Morning Show on XL7-TV. We'll see you tomorrow.